and you put in the work, you will shine.
Say that again. Your savings in the budget.
Yes, as part of what you need, because then you have to make it a lifestyle. I'm very big on budgeting.
Welcome to Global Icon Spotlight Podcast.
Thank
you so much for honoring our invitation. This is Olamide Aremu. She's a devoted wife, a proud mom of 3 beautiful girls, and a seasoned finance professional who has spent the past 15 years building an inspiring career in the United States. From my early days as an ambitious immigrant with big dreams to becoming a certified public accountant, a CPA. Welcome, Olamide.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Can you please share one fun fact, one surprising fact about yourself?
I'm a very playful person.
Okay.
I embrace my inner child, and I like it because I think it helps me connect with my girls.
You don't come across actually as a very serious person because you are. I love your smile the most.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
You're always smiling.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that part of your playfulness. Okay. Yeah. Good to hear. Mm-hmm. So, can you tell us about your journey, from arriving to the US to becoming a finance leader?
So I came to the States 24 years ago. So my journey has been, just trying to pretty much, just get through and be the best that I can in whatever I decide to do.
Wonderful.
I'm here, married now with 3 kids. So
wonderful. And where are you from originally?
Nigeria.
I know Nigeria. Yeah. Where in Nigeria?
I'm from Lagos. I'm in Lagos. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, what challenges did you actually face as an immigrant? How did you overcome those challenges?
I think it was just, for me, I was lucky in the sense that, I had a brother here.
Okay.
And I had a sister as well. I stayed with both of them. They were in 2 different states, but I stayed with my sister in Texas. And I originally came and stayed with my brother in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Then I moved to stay with my sister in Texas.
Wow.
They connected me with my aunt in Illinois. That's how I ended up here.
Okay.
So I would say that was the challenge, just, trying to set my feet, mm-hmm. and just figure out, because at every point, at every state, I had to enroll in school because that was the promise I made to my mom and myself, that no matter what, I was not going to not go to school and get, off track or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So my mom was, because she was my biggest supporter. My mom's last year.
So what will you call a breakthrough moment that that, okay, hard work and your resilience as, you started paying off?
Mm-hmm. So right before that, when I came, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And everyone that I met in the Nigerian community would tell me the only way to go was to be in the medical field. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and I believe we were kind of talking about this earlier, how, we don't always have to do what people tell us to do because that's what they're used mm-hmm. to in this mm-hmm. community. I prayed and I prayed and I looked inward because my dad was an accountant. And for some reason, that just kind of, when I started kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do, that mm-hmm. stuck with me. Mm. And I was like, initially it was because I wanted to just be like my dad or, but I realized I think that was my calling. And I'm the kind of person that when I decide to do something, I put my all in it. And when I started working downtown Chicago, I just realized like after a year or 2, I would be given more responsibilities. I would get promoted. Right. And so I just, that really gave me hope. And it made me even, try to do more and step out, work harder and step mm-hmm. out of my comfort zone because, I realized, immigrant or not, if you're favored and you put in the work, you will shine.
Say that again.
Yeah. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and that really encouraged me. And yeah.
So just put in the work. Forget about the color because some people have that mindset of it's because I'm black.
Yeah.
It's because of my accent.
Which is there. But we can't let that hold us back. Because if we're always thinking about that, then we don't put in the work because we feel like, it doesn't matter what we do anyway. Mm-hmm. It's not going to, there will be no fruit from this hard work. So, but we can't because if we believe we're children of grace.
Amen.
God speaks for us and He goes before us and it sets paths for us. And like, and that we can't just rely on other people's story to, make decisions like that.
And the last statement you just made, I think you
Mhm.
answered my next question, because I was
Okay.
going to ask, how has your faith been able to shape your path on life?
Yeah, I've always been the type of person who did believe that, God was kind of guiding me and leading me. There were some verses in the Word that just made me believe that I was made for much more. Now I was stepping out knowing that God had
Gone
promised and
ahead.
said that, you know.
So how are you able to manage, to juggle family, your profession? You do everything so well.
Oh
Yeah.
God, it looks like it. It only looks like it. I am not perfect by any means, and I know you know that. I'm not a perfect
No one
person.
is.
Yeah, exactly. I try. I every day I get up and try. Like I'm sure I'm very big on working out, and I truly believe that just starting my day for me, it doesn't have to be for everyone, but starting my day with some sort of uh, exercise, it does help me. It helps me to think. It helps me to be energized for the day. So that is one thing that helps me.
How you're able to still do that, like in church for services and stuff
Yeah.
like that. How are you able to,
Yeah. So one thing about me, I don't know how I channel my inner Esther. Well, what I mean by that is that how I think Mordecai has told her that you were here for a time such as this. I do tend to go pray to God about it, and that's helped me in my prayer life. It's helped me grow spiritually.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. And I want to backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
When you came in with your experience and everything you've seen, what is that thing, or what are those things that you wish you knew earlier? Or maybe what you will have done another way?
Let's see. I would have done differently? I wouldn't say there's anything that I would change, or because I'm a person that really believes that every experience, there's a reason for the experiences that we have, and God is using every experience. So
Right.
I wouldn't say there's something I want to change, but I would say that for anyone coming in here, as an immigrant, just it's good to know exactly what you want to do, so that have your values, or your convictions, and just stick with it, so that people cannot easily convince you.
Right.
Have your values, and have your convictions, and stick with it. Even though through school I worked at IHOP as a waitress. I mean, I worked several jobs through school. I was a waitress at IHOP in California, in Illinois. Like, this country is a country with opportunities.
You give kind of mentorship, or you give back to the community? Share.
So I used to do that. I used to not with in terms of immigration or anything, but like in terms of finance, especially black, but girls in general. Just first of all, just being able to have the kind of confidence I didn't have. I want to be in a space where I can encourage little girls to just embrace who they are. To just know that you were created for a purpose. There's much more inside of you. There's gifts inside of you, and just being confident enough to use those gifts.
Amen.
And so I want to be in that position. I used to talk to kids about finance from an early age, being able to know how to steward money. There's a lot of us that we pray to God about everything, even the blessings,
Right.
but we never pray to God about how we use those blessings, how we steward the finances, and just prepare for the future, and which I'm sure you're very familiar with. I know you kind of work in that space. But so yes, I used to do that. I have stopped. My career kind of got in the way, but I want to get back to that, giving back to the community in terms of just helping shape these little ones for the future.
So are you able to give us just few nuggets when it comes to stewarding money? Let's steal from your bank of knowledge.
Get into the practice of not spending everything.
Amen.
How do for one maybe what jail, like, yeah, but don't let me say what I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So I at an early age, being able to teach them to save.
Right.
Put something aside for spend. You don't want them to save everything and not spend. They feel deprived, and you don't. You also want to. We also want to teach them not to just spend everything they have and not save and not put aside.
Right.
And obviously, as they get older, get to a certain age, I tend to talk, like my 19-year-old now. I started talking to her about IRA and stuff like that. Starting early, I think it helps. It helps. A lot of us adults still struggle with it. We don't know how to save.
Yeah.
We don't know how to set,
because we didn't have that
yeah,
mindset from when we were growing
yes,
up.
yes, yes.
Or even for adults.
I am very big on budgeting.
Okay.
Like yeah, when it was, and I talk to people sometimes, they be like, even what they're making is not enough. Okay, so you can either make a decision, you can decide to get another income stream and add to it because you feel like it's not enough. But honestly, if you don't know how to budget, the additional income you get, you're going to spend it all too.
Right.
You just have to know how to say, okay, these are my fixed expenses, like my rent, food, those basic things you cannot compromise. You have to have those. Figure out how much that is. And then if for some reason your rent is more than your income, maybe you're living above your means. Yeah. So but we have to be able to reflect, analyze. Like it doesn't just, you have to sit down and write stuff down and look at what you're bringing in, look at what you're spending, and make adjustments. Without that, you can't skip that step. But
I know most people skip that step.
Yes.
They just, money comes in, they spend,
yes,
and they don't even know when this bill is going to be paid.
Yes.
They just, oh, okay, my account is on negative already. What happened? And they just.
Yeah. So, and maybe sometimes it has to be negative for you to realize, oh, you're doing something wrong. Then what are you going to do about it? Then go back and write stuff down. I literally had to, I've done that. Some people will say, okay, well, when you start making good money, you're in a good space, you don't need budget anymore.
Is that true?
That is not true. As far as me, I'm concerned, though.
Because you are used to budgeting.
Because when you start making more money, you want to step up. You want to feel like, I'm making money. I deserve this.
Right.
Your expenses are going to increase. So you're going to always need that budget. If not, you're going to overspend. Registered nurses making good money, and driving nice cars, and still they're living paycheck to paycheck. Like they don't have money to set aside.
And the year is winding down, and we're starting another year. So I'm sure this will bless someone. How would you say, okay, you have to set like a budget beginning of the year and go with it, or do you have any advice on how to make it like easy?
Beginning of the year is always a good start, but I don't tie it to beginning of the year. Like right now, if someone's listening right now, it's the last quarter, to put it into place now. Put it into place now.
It's not too late.
It's not too late. It's never too late. Yeah, I tell people who don't have the same fixed income, I tell them what you need to know, your expenses will be fixed in some way. Your income might not be, but your expenses will be. When you look at your rent, your basic necessities, your car payment, whatever, those are fixed. So then what you do then is, why don't you figure out how much you need to survive? So basically, how much you need to, every given month, how much you need for your rent, how much you need for food, how much you need to pay extra bills, like whatever it is that you need to survive. That's, that will be the minimum you have to make. And then you start adding some things where maybe certain things that you want, it's not a need, but maybe you just want to add. Then you figure out, okay, this is how much I need to make every month. Okay. So then anything over that, then you start looking into investing. Because when I say what you need every month, I mean your savings should be include your savings as part of what you need to. Yeah, because if not, you don't. Then you're not living a life. Then saving is not part of. Then it doesn't become part of your lifestyle.
Please, you have to say that again.
You have
put your savings in the budget.
Yes, as part of what you need, because then you have to make it a lifestyle. Because if you make savings as part of just extra, it will never happen. Financial planners out there will tell you shouldn't spend more than 50% of your income.
For real?
Yes, they will say that for your just expenses, savings should be like 20%. Obviously tithing and giving, is sort of in there, but I think savings is usually at 20%. So for someone who doesn't have the fixed income every month, when you're calculating how much you need for your expenses, why don't you include, okay, this is how much I want to save. Obviously, if you don't make enough, you can always tweak your savings, because that one is not something you need to survive. So you can tweak it. But savings should be part of what you list as your lifestyle expense or your expenses
every month,
because then it doesn't become a lifestyle. Then it becomes like luxury. Well, in this day and age, the saving is not a luxury. Like, you should do it. We should do it. We should do it, because nothing is promised to anyone.
Do you know that is really, really eating me hard right now? Because I'm trying to wrap my head around okay, I have to budget for my savings.
Yeah. It doesn't come natural to us. You have to be intentional about making it, being consistent with it. And for me, that's
Are
the way.
Are you hearing that advice from a
CPA? That's the way. That's the way I'm consistent with saving. It's part of my budget. So then, when I get my income, it's going in there. Like, it's not a debate. This month I go, it's going in there.
We will get a journal and write it out, like you're saying now.
Yeah.
But how do we augment it? How do we put, is it that you tie it to an account, so as it's coming in, it's going there?
You can do that. So if you're
hold ourselves accountable.
Yes. Some of us need that discipline.
Right.
Some of us, it's not. We cannot just willingly go and take the money out and save.
Right.
So yes, and then technology has made it all easy now. So we can just kind of whether it's through Zelle or automatic transfer. So you can just you can even do it in a separate bank where it's Zelle. Zelle processes that every month for you. Your credit card is not for emergency savings. Yes, if you are someone that's just starting to budget, yes, but at least have a plan that I'm going to start having emergency savings, because credit card, you're paying it back with interest. Unless you're going to pay it back the same month you use it. You're paying back more than what you're using. I know it's not easy for everyone, but just create a plan. Okay, my goal is for me to have emergency savings. Create a plan. You can do it. We can all do it. And that's one way to show it, because you want to show that you have been able to borrow money and pay it back.
Right.
So credit card is good for that. I still have credit cards today. I just make sure that once I get the bill, I pay it off.
Okay.
Yes. The moment where things changed for me was when I had a lot of debt when I did my master's in school. And it was just building and building. And I just... With interest.
Wow.
And so I had to create a plan to pay it off. When I created a plan to pay it off was when I had to take a good look at my finances. And so then, once, by the grace of God, I've paid off my student loan.
How are we able to manage it and manage it well? And can you give us, the bullet points on or title? Okay, this is what this for.
Yeah. So I would tell you that, let me just disclaimer. Again, this is a journey.
Yeah.
When I first started budgeting, I was like that. I was tight-fisted with everything, but I had to get it right. So and then I realized I think I was miserable, because I even wanted to buy McDonald's. I didn't have it because I had budgeted everything. So it was a journey. Answer your question. What I have in my budget, like we said, the basic stuff, and then the extra stuff that people normally will have there is fun money. Is there.
So is it that they go somewhere?
Yes. The reason why I have two savings accounts. So one of my savings account is for long-term, big savings. I have fun. So I have it in my savings account, but then I have buckets that kind of let me know, okay, this is what I have set aside. One thing I also have, so where you say maybe you see me and I have savings for shopping.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So and then the thing is that when I do decide to shop, because I don't shop every month. When I do decide to shop, it's not a big deal, because I have put maybe $50 aside every month until when I say, okay, I want to go shopping.
Wow.
Or whether it's $70, whatever it is. I have one combined for me and my girls. My insurance is okay, let's just say, for example, it's $200 every 6 months or whatever. Let's just say that. I would have been putting $20 aside every month until then. So when I take that money out, it's not a pain for me.
Wonderful.
So because if you or maybe some people have depending on your car, maybe you have $500 every 6 months. That $500 is a big deal if you have to take it out at once. You didn't plan for it. But I have been budgeting every month. So I don't have in my budget where maybe you will see maybe in June there's a big expense. I've spread it out.
Wow.
I've spread it out.
And you have a title on each.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this is really going to help people back at home. Because I've heard a lot of people come to you to say that my rent.
Yeah.
Can you help me? Because in Nigeria you have to pay rent once a year.
Yes.
So the yearly payment, you should break it down
every month. Yeah,
so
because
you don't feel choked.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's exactly what it is. It's just a lot to bring out that huge amount once. So that's how I have my budget. I have so the fun stuff just to maybe the kids want McDonald's or they want chicken, whatever it is. So we have that.
You have ways coming from.
Yeah, I have ways coming from. But again, maybe mine's a bit extreme.
I think you have so much peace.
Yes. Yeah, so so
And it feels good to know you're in
even though I
control
still
of your
tell them,
finances.
I still tell them, like, what do you think I'm growing money on trees? I already know where I'm going to take it up from.
So for vacation, for
Yes. Obviously, it's easier for me. I don't do vacation every month, like, if you start doing that every month, then obviously it's hard to do that. But, yeah, maybe once or twice we know that, okay, once or twice in a year we're going to, maybe travel or go with, I have that. I have travel money that I put aside every month. I have money for home repair that I put aside every month.
wow.
Yes.
This is really, really insightful.
Yes. But it takes a while to get
being
there.
blessed.
You kind of have to get your finances together because it's not going to be just you. It takes a while to get there. When you start seeing the cushion where you can take money and then you start to build up those extra, like, okay, you know what, let me put it aside. Let me put it aside. Because you realize you do have peace of mind when those expenses hit you. And you're like, okay, oh. So my emergency savings is strictly for big expenses like car, like something happens to your car or something, like, that way I don't depend on my credit card. I use my credit card, but I don't depend on it. So when I do use it, I have money to pay it back. Thank God for that.
Amen. Savings shouldn't be, somewhere you go to and just pick. And
it depends on what you're saving for. So, like, if without going into these details, I will tell people that, okay, some of these things that I'm doing, I'm taking that from my savings. But me, like, my savings are broken into buckets. So yes, it's in my savings account, but they are meant for those things. One more thing that I have in my savings is giving.
Okay.
I have a bucket for giving. So you have to want to give to be able to set that kind of thing in your budget or your savings. But I do it because I know, yes, I want to be in a position where I can, when I see that people really need something, I'm able to give. Like the person you're talking about, it would be the same for me, but I already set aside that money knowing it's for giving in my savings account. So my savings has different buckets.
I end up spending some money at times. I feel guilty. Like,
yeah.
I'm going back on my words. That's
how
I feel.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't feel good when it's because it was never planned for.
Yeah.
But with the way you said it now, you're able to plan for it for the future. So when it comes, you're able to.
Yes. It just makes it easy.
Do you have any word that you would like to drop with our viewers?
Well, I know we said a lot on finances, and I hope that's going to bless people. But in terms of coming to this country for the first time, I think one thing that I learned, and I think I said that, is just knowing what you want to do, and having your convictions, and just being prayerful. Being prayerful is very important. Believe me, my journey, I'm telling you, if we had to sit down here and go through every way that all the ways that God has showed up, we will not finish. And I'm not saying that because it's the right thing to do. I have seen it. So it's important to just, God needs to be part of your journey. He needs to be at the forefront. Branch out, set your own path. It doesn't always have to look the same as everyone. Take the advice, but pray about it and figure out where God, wants to take you.
Wonderful. Without taking too much of your time, we just want to say thank you once again for coming, and we hope you like your gift.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. And to our viewers, thank you for staying tuned. From whichever corner you are in the world, don't forget to shine.